Hey, how's it going to all of y'all watching this Let's Play on YouTube? Welcome to Space Agency 2138. From the developers that brought to you the regular Space Agency, they came out with a brand new adaptation called Space Agency 2138. So this game takes us all the way to the year of 2138, where humans have advanced enough to start colonizing planets and other moons around in the solar system. And speaking of the solar system, let's check out of all the planets that we can visit, and or all the moons we can visit as well. We saw the Earth, the Moon, and Mars. What else do we have? Well, I don't remember a green gas giant in our solar system. Well, I guess if you want to count Uranus, I mean, Uranus is kind of a cyan color or a teal, whichever one you prefer. And I know good and well we don't got a purple planet, well, a pinkish purple planet in our solar system. Kind of seeming a bit sussy at this point. Yeah, we definitely don't got an orange one at all either. Like, is this whole game like a recollection of our actual solar system, or is this like a fictional type solar system? Well, this is where I draw the line. A planet that looks like it's populated by minions, I will not stand for it, but I want to go and start a new sandbox. No sandboxes? Well, let's fix that, shall we? What have I always wanted to name my space agency? Space... Why? Yeah, I'm gonna be the knockoff version of SpaceX. Sandbox options. Oh, so we get to make our own sandbox with custom difficulty settings? Well, looks like we're all set. And here we have our lovely space agency with all of our pre-installed buildings. We also have our pre-built rocket. But for right now, let's just tuck you away in the vehicle assembly building. And let's remove some parts. I want to start fresh with a brand new rocket with brand new parts, because there are new parts that the developers recently added that I want to test out. And yeah, in this gameplay, we're also going to build a space station of our very own too, so that's something I want to experiment with this Let's Play too. Let's tuck you away back in the astronaut HQ. And let's put you away. Alrighty then. So right now, let me just remove some trees. I mean, who cares about deforestation? I mean, in the year of 2138, humans should be trained properly to breathe carbon dioxide by now. You know, who needs oxygen? Oxygen is practically overrated at this point. Alright, so let's purchase up some resources, shall we? Let's get the main components. Cement. Let's get some fuel. I mean, why not? Let's get some air. I mean, like, everyone needs air to breathe. Let's get some food. And if this is what oxygen and food's gonna look like in the future, I really don't want to see what the future's gonna entail, really, if that's what food and air and water is gonna look like, I guess, apparently. Or what? Is air and food and water in the year 2138 gonna be like pre-packaged in like these little capsules or whatnot? I mean, that'd be kind of cool and compactable, I guess. I mean, it saves a lot of space, really, when you think about it. Let's get some aluminum, because why the fuck not? I mean, really, we need these practically anyway, so we can build our stuff. Titanium. I mean, let's stock up on some methane so we can make our own fuel. Let's check in the other places. Let's see what we got in here. We do got some fuel, some spacecraft parts. Looks like we got some good old uranium in here. Mined from the planet Uranus. Or I guess collected from the atmosphere of Uranus. I mean, don't judge my knowledge about what's in Uranus, okay? I'm just making a fucking joke. And yeah, why not? Let's get some spare batteries. I mean, really, in the year of 2138, things should be running on happy thoughts at least by now. Or at least green energy, not by other batteries and whatnot. Things really shouldn't be needing any batteries. So what's the difference between seeds for food and seeds for air? I mean, like, what, do certain plants grow food and certain plants produce air? So what are these fancy doodads? Live tubes. This sounds something that you would see off of Futurama or some shit like that. And really, who wouldn't want to have a live tube? I mean, I would really love to have a live tube myself in my room. Just like, instead of a regular old bed, I would love to be in a live tube. That would be something new and freaky to test out, really. I want to get an engineer. I know I saw a commander. I remember that. Let's get a pilot. And let's get a botanist. I think that's like, I don't know if I pronounced that name wrong. But I don't care. Names aren't important. Colonizing on other planets, that's the important thing. I don't think we need any mines. At least I don't think so. Actually, no we don't, because yeah, I knew it. I caught these out of a glimpse of my eye. We evidently already have mines already. Let's see. We have an aluminum mine, another one. Water well, another water well. Gold mine, iron mine, methane mine. Man, this planet is very fruitful with its resources, I'll give it that much. But first things first, the first step, let's make sure that we have fuel production going. Everything looks to be in order. And I guess they added an auto transfer configuration. So I guess while we have that going on, let's make sure our production stays well and alive. Let's transfer this. Let's auto-transfer that to the fuel refinery. And let's do the same for the methane mine. Alright. We got fuel production going. And we got it automated. Trees, those are boring. Lightning conductor. That sounds pretty slick. Landing pad, launch pad. Well, don't need to build a launch pad because I think, yeah, of course, we already have one. Actually, two for that fact. And we have 2 vehicle assembly buildings too. Sure, let's build a base station. Oh, looks like this one doesn't have any power. Well, no worries, I'll help you. There we go. I know they added a new space shuttle. Oh, there it is right there. Well, shit. Looks like it needs some aluminum. Well, no matter. Nope, that's spare parts. What am I doing? I guess I'll take the time out of my goddamn day to get some more aluminum. But let's go on ahead and build ourselves a space shuttle. Well, Delta 10 for its primary name. Let's get a solar panel. Gotta generate power one way or another, right? A nuclear generator. Sure, that sounds awesome and completely safe. Let's get a battery backup. We might need that. Okay, I don't want to over-exceed myself too much. Just one more thing. Let's get a station corridor. Alright, that's about it. And let's just get a few more resources just in case, I did all that spending. Actually, hold on. I think if my theory is correct, I think we can buy more. So hell with that. Let's just dispose of this one. And I guess in the year of 2138, I guess every item has the capability to self-destruct itself into tiny, itty-bitty, microscopic nano pieces. Well, that's actually pretty healthy for the environment instead of dumping things in a freaking landfill, wouldn't you think? Add a payload. Delta 10. Let's get a powerful first stage because, God forbid, I'd reckon the Delta 10's pretty hefty in weight. Because, I mean, it's a ginormous space shuttle. You gotta configure your own flight plan. That's the fun part. Let's go to the Launch Target Zone 2 for our space station. I think if I'm not mistaken, the ones with the LTZ setting, like they don't have anything there. They're like empty spaces where you can build your stuff. We actually have like reusable parts so that we can send off to these little landing pads so we can reuse them later. Now, of course, the ones in the green suits, what their primary function is, if I remember correctly, them, I think, control like stuff with bio stuff, like the plants and like all that stuff like that. You know, like growing things in the game and whatnot, like plants and food and air things and whatnot. Like those people have access to those types of tasks. Now, engineers have stuff related to like machineries and other fancy doodads that you send up, and those people can like interact with solar panels, interact with other things. Pilot, of course, the ones in the red suits. Them dudes can of course pilot the rocket, and that's their only task really, is to pilot the rocket. Now, people that are in the yellow suits, the commanders, those have all primary task functions. They can control stuff with gardens and growing things. Like engineers, like engineering type things. Piloting and whatnot. They can control all those fancy tasks. I guess since I'm sending a nuclear generator up there at some point, would it hurt to add this? You know, for the time being. Well, no, really, why am I asking myself that? Because I turned the health off, so really nothing's gonna affect these dudes. Like, they're gonna be fine. Like, I got spare fuel in the warehouses, so, like, let's give the fuel refinery time to get the fuel going. But let's do a countdown. Are you ready? 10, 9, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. You know, that's really interesting that an air raid siren has to go off when a rocket is about to launch. I mean, why is that necessary? Like, that's kind of odd when you think about it. I mean, does NASA do that or something? Does NASA have like an air raid siren when a rocket goes off? Like, anyone that lives near Cape Canaveral know that? I mean, like, is that just protocol? So if a rocket goes haywire or something, then people can evacuate the area if the rocket parts fall over top of the poor people down below? And we have a nice little HUD up there. It looks like we have some things going into the orange. But I reckon that's a temporary thing. I mean, I hope it's a temporary thing. Our dynamic pressure's going through the roof as our throttle, well, it was dropping, but it's going back up. And so is our altitude. And our first stage has officially cut off. And the boosters have cut it off too. Oh, do we get to watch the parts land? Oh, that'd be pretty cool. Okay, my experiences with watching rocket landings or rocket parts that land, they do not dive down straight like a missile. Or is that why the air raid siren went off? Did we just secretly launch missiles down to the ground below or something? But we're in space. I mean, we survived the flight. I don't know about the poor people down below because it looked like the rocket parts were coming down like a missile at first. Also, if I remember correctly, they actually added an EVA function. Would that be pretty cool? It'd be cool to wander out in space and take a look at all the neighboring planets in our solar neighborhood. Because, yeah, judging by the beginning and all the other planets that definitely do not look like that are in our solar system, I can guarantee you this, that this solar system is indeed fictional. And not a representation of our solar system in the slightest. Speaking of which, yeah, literally, the doors on the orbiter literally have solar panels, so we can generate power on our own, too, so that's actually pretty cool. Whoops, why'd I press that? Sorry about that. Yep, there's the airlock. Let's extend it. You peeps, just stay in your cryotubes. I'm gonna go out and take a look at the other planetary celestial bodies. Oh shit, so we have air consumption and battery consumption. And I guess I reckon if we're out for too long, we're gonna get irradiated too, so that's not a good thing. I see a green planet, like, way beyond the horizon. There's the yellow planet that's populated by minions, I reckon. There's the green gas giant that we mentioned before. There's a red planet amongst the horizon. Yeah, there's a lot of places to visit. There's a vast variety of places. And there's our natural satellite, the moon. Alright, let's go back inside. Wasn't that an epic adventure? Okay, so let's retract the airlock. Gonna have to do that anyways if we're gonna send parts to dock with this orbiter. But for right now, we're good. And I guess this is where all of our components are stored. All of our components and resources. Yep, looks like everything's to be in order. Looks like we got our seeds, our uranium, we got our fuel, and there is our air, food, and water. Hoorah! We're good to go. Not unless one of my crewmates turns imposter and starts being a glutton and literally gluttonousing all of our freaking resources down their gullet. Okay, I think all we need is a commander for now. I don't think we really need much of anything. Yeah, it's only going to give me 2 slots, but really we don't need anything essentially. Because, like, once we're done docking, we're going to undock the part, and then we're going to head back home. Let's load up some fuel. And let's launch this bad boy. I really love in the future of 2138 of how everything looks. I mean, after watching SpongeBob, that one SpongeBob SquarePants episode, SpongeBob is a goddamn liar. They said everything would look chrome in the future. This looks nothing like chrome. And yeah, we already know this same song and dance, so let's just skip it. And I think maybe for the next episode, we'll start our colonization. And we'll start with something light and simple. We'll go to Luna. But we're approaching our destination in approximately 17 seconds. There's Delta 10. Let's do a quick save. Yeah, I think we're good on fuel. But if any case, let's just fuel up anyway. Let's transfer all that we can. It does give, like, enough units to fill up your tank. It doesn't waste any. Like it doesn't dump the whole thing and waste any other units that could be available. Which is good. That's good that the game promotes to not be wasteful. Now this part is a pain in the freaking ass given for the fact that it's 3 fucking D. Because I've been ever so used to the 2D version of this game. Like, again, the fact that this is 3D is gonna freaking mess me up. Not saying it's bad that it's in 3D. I mean, it's a pretty good adaptation, I'm not gonna lie. But still in all, it's just, I am not used to this type of shit. And it's gonna take a very long while to get used to these maneuverability controls. And you gotta make sure you're aligned just right. Otherwise, you're gonna fuck yourself over if you're not careful. Alright, there's a marker right there so we can see if we're aligned or not. And yeah, obviously enough we're not. Alright, I think we're good. I think we're almost perfectly centered in. Or at least close enough where we can get in there. Aha! There we go. Yeah, and of course, we gotta manually turn this thing on in order to get everything working. And as the commander, I do have the authorization to turn it on, because literally, no other pilot other than the engineer in the commander, of course, can turn on objects, because, like, I guess in the year 2138, education is still somewhat lacking to where people can't turn something on. You know, do the simple task of just turning on an object. And kind of ironic if we mastered space exploration, but the brain capacity gets shortened to the degree where you can't turn shit on, or some people have that knowledge to, I guess, turn stuff on. Where is the Earth? Okay, there it is. Buckle up, because we're heading home. And we're going to sit back, we're going to relax, and we're going to enjoy the re-entry process. And re-entry is going to begin in approximately 1 minute. Also, I want people to bear in mind, in this game, you can in fact go and colonize each one of these planets, and you can even go to the sun. Yeah, not joking. It'll actually take you, God forbid how many ever so hours to get there, but you can in fact go to the sun, so. If you want to make a sun station, go right the fuck ahead. Just try not to burn up while you're at it. That's actually pretty cool. In the year of 2138, people are improvising to use the landing gear as also heat shield, because like that is the landing gear, but it's also used as a re-entry shield upon re-entry. That's actually pretty damn slick. That the rocket, like parts of the rocket, can do two-in-one things. That's pretty damn cool when you think about it. Rockets in 2138 are certainly advanced than the ones that we got now. We're just gonna glide along the atmosphere. And we are going to make sure Houston is aware that we're coming back home. And that we've experienced no problems. No delay, no problems. Mission has been a complete success. And we are going to get back home. And then once we get back home, we're going to store and tuck everything away, and we're going to end this first parter because I don't want this to exceed over an hour. And I guess the people that run this space agency on this island ain't concerned that they're next to a volcano. Or I guess it's a geyser because you can see the water within the whole volcanic structure there. So I guess it's not necessarily something to worry about, I reckon. Alright. Let's get everything put away. You know, just in case. Because, like, I don't want to sit there and forget about this stuff. I want to make sure all landing pads are clear. Alright, well, if you enjoyed this first parter of Space Agency 2138, please feel free to give me a like. It'll really mean a lot. And feel free to subscribe to the channel, too. That'll definitely help me a lot, help me out a lot in the long run. And tomorrow, I'll probably make another video related to the game. And we'll do some more space station building and colonizing on our moon, Luna. Peace out.